Nice.
The internet seems to be incredulous that I managed to play off a single-digit handicap in spite of an unconventional golf swing. But the game isn't called Golf Swing. It's called golf. And the very reason I started the channel was to highlight other components of golf, like the short game, course management, and harnessing a good mindset. We'll talk about those things today. And for once, we'll also take time to talk about the golf swing. Because believe it or not, I do put time into my swing. But in lieu of swing overhauls, I frequently work on fundamentals of the golf swing in order to get into a pretty decent impact position, if I do say so myself. And in the meantime, we'll talk about the other components of golf I mentioned, here at Predator Ridge.
So I have 166 playing 177, but it's cold, balls wet. I'm hitting a 190 club.
Right off the hop, I'm not selecting a club here with my ego, but based on how much club I'll need on a cold morning with no warm-up under my belt. Midday, this is a comfortable 6-iron. Right now, it's a hybrid.
Whoops.
And I hit it terribly. So it's right on to another key to lower scores. Harnessing a positive mindset, and resetting before the next shot. There's no need to feel embarrassed by the last swing, or worse, let it linger over the next one. The scorecard has no pictures. I'm inside 100 yards now, so if I can just make a par on a pitch and putt hole, I can escape this hole with a bogey. It's stroke hole 5 on the card anyway, so as a 7 handicap, I shouldn't complain about bogeys here. So I won't, and we'll go on to 2. So at long last, let's talk about the golf swing. While I'm not a range rat, I do put in work to maintain a functional swing. I'm honest with myself and my instructors by acknowledging that I'm not committed to a swing overhaul. Just swing tweaks, bite-sized pieces of feedback that I can incorporate right away. Typically, that starts by reassessing my grip and setup, the foundation of the golf swing that most of us overlook. I've learned through instruction that I tend to align close to my target. This tee shot actually goes exactly where I'm aligned. I could work on 1,000 things, but my instructor points out that my impact position is good. It's my setup that I need to work on. And if you want actionable feedback like this, I can't recommend this promotion enough. Use the code LEVELUP to get a full season's worth of lessons with Swingtweaks for the same price as one in-person lesson.
172 playing 161.
Playing downhill, I opt for my 165 club here. And it's certainly better contact than my approach on the first hole, but it comes up a bit short.
That was crazy short.
And now it's back to the short game. Blades and chunks from this range will absolutely kill a golf score. So when I don't have to hit it high, I opt to choke down on a gap wedge and basically take a putting stroke over these. On chips from this range, or even lag putts, distance control is everything. And I'm comfortable with this shot after years of pitch and putt. I get it the right distance for a look at par, but it doesn't quite go, and I'll have to settle for bogey. This hole is only 360 on the card, but with a narrow target off the tee and a massively uphill approach shot, it has a habit of playing much longer.
So always have a target. The pin here is all the way right. I'm aiming middle of the green. It's 173 playing 181. It's early, it's cold, the ball's wet. I'm hitting a 190 club.
Once again, there's no ego involved in the club selection. My focus is on choosing a safe target and swinging freely. Unfortunately, I've missed short once more, and will put the wedge back to work.
Didn't get it there.
But execution is evading us a bit today.
Oh, Adam.
And I'll have a longer look at par than I'd like. But whether I'm putting for birdie or for triple, I'll still go through my full routine on the greens. You can watch the video overview of my routine by clicking the link in the corner, where you'll see that part of my process includes using my feet to get a sense of high and low points on the green. This one misses a hair low, and for now, the bogey train will continue. Club selection off the tee is important too. Typically I'd hit a 3-wood here, because the fairway runs out at 250. But in this cold and with a few layers on, I'm not hitting it all that far today. So my just get it in play club is actually my driver. Lo and behold, it is in play, and more ego regulation on the approach.
166. I don't have faith in getting a 6-iron that far right now. I'm going to hit a 5 hybrid at the middle of the green.
These abbreviated finish swings with the hybrid might not look pretty, but this one's online, and for the first time today, I'll have a birdie putt.
Hit and check there, didn't it?
It's a makeable one too. I underread the break, but the distance is fine, and at long last, I'll card the day's first par.
I'm going to just step on a hybrid.
There's a lot of mental math to do here, between the elevation change and the weather conditions. But the most important thing to do is fully commit to the shot, even if it's the wrong one. My plan was to go full bore at a hybrid.
Oh, damn it.
And I make crap contact, and it goes nowhere.
I think it's going to be short of it. Okay, I was only 47 yards short.
But as usual, I'm comfortable inside 100 yards, and this is a decent pitch that will give me a look at par. I have to be mindful of the pace of this putt coming up the hill, and I overdo it a hair.
Wow.
I'll have about 2.5 feet coming back, and I miss it. And the takeaway here is that it's typically these mistakes, inside 100 yards, that lead to doubles. After struggling to get them out there 200 yards on some holes so far, this tee box is a good 100 feet above this fairway.
That should be good.
Which leads to a 300-plus yard drive, and incidentally, my favorite number in.
100. Smooth wedge.
I'm actually taking extra club for this number today, though, and it's a dagger straight at it.
Great shot.
Thanks. And pretty good result of my approach.
But this will turn into another test of how I regulate my emotions.
So bad. Ah!
I'll let it out and get out of here. And I wish I could say the last hole was the day's final disaster, but I'm not a scratch golfer.
I think usually the blues are 1 tee forward from here.
Yeah, that bunker on the right's 280.
Okay, wow, it's that far.
So buckle up for a true disaster hole. It starts with a stray drive that hits a tree trunk straight on.
Oh! Hit the tree. This is going to come out funky.
Where my only option is to hack out. And from here, it only gets worse.
Ooh, yeah.
Much worse. And at this point, I'm thinking about too much over the ball. And the next 5 wood is also duck hooky. Finally, I'm within wedge range.
Oh, but I brought the wrong club. It's okay, I'll make do.
But even here, I make a rare mistake.
Or not.
Had I been tidier with the last one, I would have escaped this hole with an ugly bogey. But instead, I'm actually getting up and down for double, which fortunately I'm able to do.
Okay.
So this is a key moment in the round. I'm pacing for a 90, and I could let the negative talk take over. I've topped one, I've missed some short putts, and I've carded 2 doubles. But I've played enough golf to know that I can still card a decent score today by my standards. Even when faced with the fairway wood into this par 3, I'll treat it like it's the first tee box. And wouldn't you know it, it's my best strike of the day.
Okay, that was a bit ambitious.
And this putt from the fringe is probably an 80-plus footer. And even though I end up sending it about 7 feet by, I'll draw some inspiration from watching Dre make one here.
Great birdie. That's an unreal birdie on this hole.
And now I'll put myself in the right mindset over mine.
I think I'm due for one.
And after a couple of short putts missed on the last few holes,
Thanks.
it feels great to get this one to go. And after the disaster on the last par 5, I'm out for revenge on this one. It starts with a great drive that gets a ton of rollout.
207, playing 212, cold wind, all that, so 5 wood again.
But then the golf gods interfered. A poor strike on this one, and now another mistake inside 100 yards. But I mentioned always wiping the slate clean. A couple of bad shots on this hole have me left trying to scramble for par. But I'm comforted by the knowledge that I should escape this hole with bogey at worst. And after making my first putt of the day on the last hole, I get another one to go here. The doubles on the card are score killers. Add in a lot of missed greens, and it's not my best score on the front. But stay tuned, because I went for a great run on the back 9 to reel this score back in. But that doesn't mean it looked pretty.
That wasn't hit well. That's going to be in that bunker for sure. It's in it. So 111 playing 121, and it's a front pin, so playing a 140 club.
No ego here. I'm playing for a number long of the pin, where they're still green. And I sort of schmeagle this one up there for only the round's 3rd green in regulation. I do a decent job on the speed of this one, despite leaving it a bit short. And we'll start the back with the par. Speaking of not pretty, this par 5 starts with a total miss.
Oh, shoot. The old 100-yard carry. So my line is these 2 trees.
But in my very first video on YouTube, I mentioned that par 5s in particular allow you to get away with a bad shot. I still have 2 shots to hit the green from here, so I'll start by getting one back in play in the fairway by picking a safe target.
Should be good.
And now, a smooth swing with an extra club into this elevated green. And for anybody curious, the reason I'm not a range rat is because I prefer to be here, amidst rolling fairways and cut greens. I'm just not a range guy. I'm at ease with this short chip from the approach that I got pin high.
Thanks.
And I'll clean this one up for par. This doesn't get any prettier.
Oh, right on line.
But even though the direction on this one is off, I've chosen the right club. Missing pin high was one of the biggest things I harnessed in order to scramble more often and get my handicap into the single digits. And even though this chip doesn't work out exactly as intended,
Yeah, that was like the shot I wanted to hit, right? I thought that was going to be like inside 3 feet. Whatever. Can't complain. It was a good shot.
I'm able to make this one and add another clean hole to the card. It's the last par 5 on the course, and it helps to get this one in play, because this hole is playing uphill from here on out.
So I think it's about 290.
In fact, my 5-wood only gets about 190 up the hill. And just to belabor the point about not letting bad shots affect your mindset, this is one more stinker. But I'll take it in stride before getting myself set over the birdie putt, which I actually give quite a bit of respect.
Whoa, is this a funky one?
I took a look at it from behind the hole to see what it was doing for the last few feet.
I had it going this way, but then it looked like after this mount it might go that way, so I started freaking out and just aimed at the hole.
And it all adds up to another par. The last time I hit one truly astray was on 7, and this one's threatening to miss the golf course, but
It kicked it back and 80 yards left. So it hit these rocks. Came down to here, where I have like 188 playing 190 something, 198. Pins back left, like over the rock. So don't take that line. Just middle of the green.
and you'll see that I won't lament the long distance I have in. I'm just back to playing the shot in front of me and trying to pick a safe target. And it's the same abbreviated finish and another one that's online, but it actually leaps over the back of the green. And I'm taking a good look at this one to try to pick my landing spot. I more or less hit it, and the distance control is on too.
Thanks.
And it's always flattering having a scratch golfer ask about your club selection.
What do you have from there?
54. I only take more loft if I like need to. And like my preferred chipping club is actually a 46.
And I'll clean it up for par.
Yeah. It feels mostly dead, but if anything, a touch into.
After a rocky start today, I've peeled off 7 consecutive pars, but nothing gold can stay.
That wasn't hit well. Needs to go. Needs to go.
I'm lucky that this one's alive, and now it's just a simple chip to make in range. But for the first time in a while, I've missed a short one,
Yeah, I had it breaking.
and I'm forced to settle for bogey.
Yeah, this is a hole that it's actually like, it's fun to go for, but scoring-wise, it's like not a good play.
I take some heat for not going for shots like this, but you'll see on the approach that there was so much trouble in play going for this green. I'm happy to just have a flip wedge in, even though I managed to make a mess out of this one.
Oh no, go!
I've taken the big number out of play here, and after another tidy chip,
Do you mind pulling it for me, Neil?
I managed to get up and down for par.
Yeah, on the 150 line.
This dogleg left over water plays a stroke hole too, and even a well-struck drive is going to leave me a long way home.
Okay, this is a scary one. Straight into wind. 200 flag.
And on the approach shot, instinct takes over, because I do not want to pull or hook one into the water.
That was scared of water.
In any event, it's just a pitch onto this green now. And in my analysis, if there's one thing I did pretty well today, particularly on the back nine, it was hitting these greenside shots to makeable range.
Thanks.
I'd love to escape this tough hole with a par, but it's a bit off, and I'll settle for bogey. One last challenge to close out the day. Another 400 plus yard par 4, and it starts with a decent drive.
Get all the roll, please. So 192, playing 200. Thing is, it has to go high. This isn't typically a high club for me, but we'll try. In left, try to bring the traps out of play.
And how about this?
Oh my goodness. It like was going into the water and it kicked and back to there. 135 playing 142. I'm gonna take even more than that.
After that extremely fortuitous bounce, it's one final approach shot that I'll hope to put on the green and get out with bogey at worst. This one does find the green, and now the look at par.
Just pick a line, commit.
I think it's my best putt of the day, even if it doesn't drop, and I'll settle for bogey. I'm proud that I reeled in this round after a poor start, and despite averaging one poor shot per hole, I managed to par more than half of the holes out there today. I don't like to make excuses, but I think the conditions definitely contributed to a bad shot or two. And all in all, I'm pretty pleased carding 2 rounds on either side of 80 at this time of year. I hope you enjoyed following along, despite my swing that only a mother could love.